Solving inequalities. Let's just review some basics very quickly. This symbol right here is greater than because it opens towards the left. The left side of our inequality symbol, which comes first, is larger, so it's greater than. And this inequality over here says less than or equal to. Because my symbol is smaller on the left side, that's the section that comes first, it means less than. The line underneath is where or equal to comes from. So these are going to look a little bit different when we are graphing our solutions on a number line. If you'll remember from your pre-algebra days, the greater than or less than symbol will have an open circle on the number line for its solution. And then if you have the less than or equal to or greater than or equal to symbol, that is going to have a closed, shaded in, filled in circle on their number line. Okay, so x is greater than -2. So I'm going to place an open circle at -2. And of course, greater than means all of the numbers bigger than -2. So we shade to the right. Now we want to use this open circle right here because -2 is not part of the solution, but every single value to the right is. Even -1.9999 repeating. That is part of the solution, but as soon as I hit -2, not a solution. The next inequality says x is less than or equal to 5. Because of the or equal to, our circle is going to be shaded in. We can use +5 as part of our solution. Now, less than means we're just shading everything to the left. It's everything below, everything less than +5. And I draw an arrow on the end to show we're going forever. So those are your little basics there. Now let's solve something a little more difficult. So 12 minus 4w is greater than or equal to 2 times w minus 18. Now this is going to be very similar to solving a linear equation. So I'm going to go ahead and start by sectioning off or cutting my inequality into its two sides. And the first thing that I want to do is try and simplify as much as possible. And I look at this left side and there's nothing that I can do to combine 12 minus 4w. But on the right side of my inequality, I do see that I have a set of parentheses here that I can get rid of by distributing the 2. So 2 times w and 2 times our minus 18. All right, that's going to give us 2w minus 36. And because we couldn't do anything with the right side, I'm just going to bring down those terms. 12 minus 4w greater than or equal to. Just drop down your inequality symbol. All right, the next step, I look and I see, okay, there's nothing else I can do to simplify either of those sides of my inequality. So step 2 is going to be move all of my variable terms to one side and my constants to the other side. So I'm going to subtract my 2w from both sides of my inequality. And that gives me 12, and then negative 4w minus 2w will give me a minus 6w. Bring down my inequality symbol, 2w minus 2w cancels to 0, and bring down our minus 36. All right, so we've got all of our variable terms on the left, so let's move our constant terms to the right. So minus 12 from both sides of our inequality. And when we do this, 12 minus 12, of course, cancels to 0. Minus 6w is greater than or equal to, and negative 36 minus 12 gives us a negative 48. Now, negative 6w is greater than or equal to negative 48. Remember, of course, that this means multiply. When you have a number value and a variable side by side, they're stuck together with no symbol. That just means multiply. The opposite of multiply is divide. So we're going to divide both sides of our inequality by this negative 6. Now here is what is different from solving linear equations and linear inequalities. When you divide or multiply by a negative, you are going to flip your inequality symbol. So make sure you make note of that. Write it down. Say it to yourself over and over. So we just divided by a negative 6. That reduces to a 1w. But because we divided by a negative, we need to flip our inequality symbol. So now it is less than or equal to. Negative 48 divided by negative 6 is going to give us a positive 8. All right, so let's go ahead and draw this out. Here is 0 for reference. It's not really needed, but I like to put it there. And here is positive 8. So I am going to use a closed circle on positive 8 because 8 is part of my solution due to the equal to symbol here. And it says less than 8. So I'm going to shade to the left. Everything below positive 8 is our solution. All right, let's look at one more example. Our first step is still going to be make sure, let's partition our inequality symbol. There we go. All right, let's look at the left side and the right side and see how we can simplify each of these. I notice that they each have their own set of parentheses, so I am going to distribute whatever is in front. So this 3 is going to distribute to the 2x and to the minus 5. So that gives us 6x minus 15, and we bring down our minus 1, of course, is greater than, and then I have this negative symbol that I need to distribute to both of these terms. Okay, so it becomes a negative x minus 2. That's our first step. Now our second step, I can see that I have like terms here. I can still simplify down the left side of my inequality even more. So I end up with 6x, negative 15 minus 1 gives me a minus 16 is greater than negative x minus 2. All right, so we did that. We simplified down as much as possible each individual side of our inequality. Now we need to start moving things around. I need to get all of my variable terms on the left side and my constants on the right. So I'm going to add my x term to both sides of my inequality. And that gives us 7x minus 16 is greater than negative x plus x cancels to 0, minus 2, or negative 2. All right, all variables are on the left, so let's move our constant term to the right side. Plus 16 on both sides, which gives us 7x. Those cancel to 0, is greater than negative 2 plus 16 gives me 14. So 7x is greater than 14. All I need to do now is divide both sides of my inequality by 7. And ask yourself, did you multiply or divide by a negative? Obviously we did not, so we do not flip our inequality symbol on this example. X is greater than 2. It stays greater than. So here's my number line. I'll just draw my 0 on there for reference and my positive 2. My greater than symbol is an open circle. We do not include 2 as our solution, but everything larger than 2 is part of our solution.